Pull your starships over, find the nearest space station, and let's get ready for the Tuesday late night subcast with Cobra TV and the Cobros and the Cobrettes. Let's go ahead and get ready and let's get started.
You tuned in to the only station in the galaxy, broadcasting right from Euclid. Whether you're watching or listening, this is Cobra TV and this is a podcast.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Our demise is upon us, travelers. Prophecies have foretold the destruction of our universe. I encourage all travelers, interlopers, nomads alike to repent our sins and embrace each other in this trying time. Our universe is about to be reset. Our homes destroyed. All creatures on every planet will be twisted and transformed into new forms and beings. Fear the Atlas, Loop 16, and all the forces that want to tear apart our fabric of what we think is our reality. The end is coming! The end is coming! Find a safe place and brace for impact. I hope we are all the same. After the great reset, 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 reset. The end is coming! I hope we are all the same. After the great reset.
Good evening, travelers, interlopers, traders, and farmers, explorers, bounty hunters, pirates, and you strange glowing entities out there. Viking, Korvax, and that's right, including all of you smelly, stinky, tiny geck. May the Atlas allow my voice to fall upon every strange ear, and that this space transmission reaches every galaxy and dimension. Tonight, we are broadcasting from the Euclid Galaxy, somewhere deep in space. This is a late night show on Cobra TV. Call in tonight and let's make contact. Wrong button. There we go. What is going on, guys? Thank you so much for coming back to Cobra TV. This is the late night show, the subcast that we do on every Tuesday. Let me get this. Whoa. Let me get this off of here. And let me get this, move this down so everybody can see what you guys are saying. There we go. What's up, Cross the Fire? Drunken Taco, what's going on, buddy? And we've also got Marky Marcus in the chat, Spell Check, Dandy Bones, Enrico Bendito, Aaron Snow, what is going on, Bud? And Josh, What's going on, guys? How you doing? And thank you for coming back to the late night show here on Cobra TV. We're going to be taking callers tonight. So if you want to call into the show, add me on Skype LpoLi1622. That's LpoLi1622 on Skype. And add me there. I'll accept the friend request. And then once I add you on, send me the number 1. So that way I know you want to get on the show. So as you guys know, we're starting like 40 minutes late, and that's because I had to go get my car, my new to me car, into my name. Psycho Mike, what is going on, dude? The Snow Obsidian's in the chat. UFO Truth, Don Conniff, Cobra, get Sea of Thieves so we can get a crew started. I want to. I don't know if my computer can handle it. That water looks pretty beefy. Oh my gosh, that water looks beautiful. All right, so we got the Drunken Taco wants to come on. We got Snow who wants to come on. And I'm not sure if that's a new message from Cyrus or not. Is it? Looks like he messaged around 10 o'clock. Maybe he didn't get the message that I was going to be taking, oversleeping and things like that. What's up, Tipper? We got Fear Fox HD. We got Cross the Fire. Did you get some sleep, Cobra? Yes, I did. Weird sleep. Weird sleep. I had a dream, and I can't remember what it is. I was going to tell you guys about it, and it's completely gone now. You guys ever had a dream? And then you're like, ooh, I got to tell somebody about that. And then when it comes time to tell them, it's just gone. Like you just don't remember it. It's gone. So, yeah, forget that. Scratch that off. Take that off the list for the nice show. That dream's gone. All right, so we got Cyrus. Okay, hold on. We got Cyrus, I think, is going to be coming on the show. He's the guy who did the Venture Unknown game, the fake game. It was an email. The email that everyone went crazy about, thinking, oh my gosh, these are pictures from Next. He was on the show earlier this morning, but it wasn't a very good conversation because he came on so late, and there are already so many people already on. And so hopefully he's wanting to come back on the show. We'll get him on. We'll talk to him for a few minutes. Husband Vader's in the chat. Guys, check this out. Go over to the portalrepository.com. I think I have the link down in the description below. Go on over there. If you have a portal address, a home planet, or something like that, go on over to the portalrepository.com, and list your portal address on there. And it's like a repository for a collection of portal addresses for interesting places, people's bases, hubs, things like that. And so it's a cool place going over there. And if the universe is going to be reset, Husband Vader actually makes a good point. If the universe is about to reset, as Tim said, as he's so afraid of in the intro in the very beginning of this video, then it's great as a historian, to catalog some of these planets and put the pictures up there and the portal addresses of what used to be. So I'm not getting a message back from Cyrus yet, but he was on the show this morning. Captain Monday Baker, what is going on, dude? UFO Truth. When is Ray Rod's overhaul coming out? Ray Rod's supposed to be on the show tonight. Ray Rod. I'm going to get somebody on the show. We're going to go ahead and get... Let's see. Husband Vader says, yeah, man, I'll be up for the next several hours. So any submissions will get posted quickly. So that's good. So anybody want to go on over there to the portalrepository.com. I think the link is down in the description. Real quick, guys, let me go ahead and message Ray Rod over on Twitter. I need an actual studio. Ugh. All right, so we messaged her right. Let's see. All right, we got Jamie who wants to join. So yes, Jamie, you can join. Until we get Rerod or Cyrus, we're gonna go ahead and start adding some people. Oh, look, Adam from Keep Come Again wants to come on. Adam,
What up?
what's going on, dude? How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing good. Just got back from work and saw the notification that you were going live. I'm like, driving home. Didn't speed. I played it safe. But yeah, I popped on. So what's
That's
going
cool.
on, man?
Oh, not so much, dude. I've been watching a lot of your closet sessions, dude. And I know a lot about your life now. I know a lot about what's going on with your changeover from stores because one's closing down and you're going to be doing new work. I tell you what, man, that's so interesting streams. You know, like I tuned on there. I'm like, I wonder if Adam's going to be talking about No Man's Sky. No, you talked about thrift store forever, and I'm like, this is interesting. I like
just
this.
kind of ramble on. I just got back from an interview at that store I'm going to be transferred to. Seemed to go well. They're like, we've heard some great things about you, Adam. I'm like, okay, I don't know who's telling you these things, but all right. So yeah, I guess in 2 weeks I got the job and I'm transferring over there. So
awesome. Yeah,
should be interesting.
Strange that you had to reapply or re-interview.
Yeah, I had to put in like some kind of transfer thing. You got to jump through all these hoops, even though you're still working for the same company. It's like there's steps. I'm like, whatever. But yeah, I just basically talk to myself and the subscribers in those streams. So it's fun stuff.
Cool. Yeah, I got my my new car. Well, my new to me car. It's pretty cool. It's a 2005 yellow Hyundai Tiburon.
Oh,
and
nice.
6-speed. So it's pretty cool. I think it's a little bit too much car for me though.
So did you buy this car or are you renting this car like the last one?
I bought it from my dad.
Okay.
For like $1,300. It's in great shape. So I'm happy to get to drive it.
So you took back that like rental car you were driving?
Yeah, the lease. Yeah. Well, no, it's still in the driveway right now, but yeah, they're going to be taking it back any day.
Have they said anything about like the the dents in it that you got from that hailstorm, or have they seen it yet?
No, it's kind of funny because they actually did come out to inspect the car, and I don't know. See, I strategically did not wash it.
Oh,
it's dirty. It's been dirty from like the snow and the salt and things like that. So it's got like a gray film all over it. So I strategically did not wash it. So hopefully when the guy came out to inspect it, give like the estimate on the condition of the car, that those dents weren't so magnified.
Noticeable.
And from the hailstorm. And I guess it worked because he put normal wear and tear on most of everything. But yeah, I'm happy to give it back to him. It's the most horrible experience leasing a car from Honda. Here's my review on Honda. I don't suggest it. Stay away from Honda unless you're just going to purchase the car.
Yeah, I think they make good cars, but I've never tried renting one.
Okay, we're going to get Cyrus on the call. Cyrus.
Very nice, very nice. Got spell check in the chat. Brian Petro, Panda Poopy. I'm saying everybody here that's in my streams. What's up, guys?
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So many familiar faces.
So Cyrus is the guy that made the game from the new Waking Titan development, Venture Unknown. But for some reason, he's not picking up. So we're just going to keep talking, and we'll figure it out.
So Cobra, what has been going on with like the Waking Titan? Because I've been kind of out of it for the past couple days. I haven't been keeping up. I've been hearing like news dropped, and I'm like, okay, I didn't really read what the news was, and then I heard there's like games and trailers, and
I'm kind of glad you brought that up. I have a very odd outlook on what's going on. Hang on a second. I'm going to go ahead and put a different screen on for a second. So I get a different outlook about what's going on when it comes to this Waking Titan. You want this? Okay. Okay, and my opinion on the whole situation is it's a lot of things. I think, well, for one, do you not feel like, okay, does it feel like this Waking Titan is more quiet than the verse?
Yeah, it does to me. It feels like it's not, I don't know. It's like, it doesn't feel as big. I guess because when the first one happened, it was just so exciting, so new. We kind of knew that this second part was coming. So it doesn't feel as big to me, but
I don't think that's it. I really don't. Because Cyrus?
Yep.
Hey, what's going on, bud? How you doing?
Good. Yourself?
Good. Hey, guys, we're going to shelf that topic for a little bit later down the road. I would like to introduce Cyrus to the show. He's an old friend. I've known the guy for a very long time, and I did an unpublished commercial with the guy. And that was a bit of an embarrassing moment in my life.
Nah, you were fine, Cobra. Thank you so much for helping with that.
Yeah, man, yeah. Okay, so Cyrus is the gentleman who made the game Venture Unknown that you got in the email from Waking Titan. So if anybody, a lot of people that don't know, we got another email about Waking Titan, about WARE, actually. And okay, so it had 3 games in it. I'm going to go over it in detail, the email here in a second. But it had 3 games in it that they'd chosen for the developers. You know how we're supposed to submit on the survey, our game, and, gives website, asks for websites, asks for what your game's about, things like that. Well, we're supposed to all create a fake game page. We're supposed to all create like a fake Twitter account, a fake game trailer, and things like that, and submit that. Why? I don't know. I don't know why we are deceiving the gaming industry, but we are. Okay, every one of us, we are. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life. But so we're all doing that. I've done mine, and it's out there somewhere. It's pretty obvious if you see it that it's because the studio name is really recognizable. So I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but it's out there, and so. Venture Unknown was one of the games that was in the email that said that they picked 3 good ones so far to show. They're not ready to pick the final 5 yet, but they picked 3 that are really good to show. Venture Unknown was one of those games, and pictures from that are amazing. And these pictures started going all over the internet, through Discord, through the Steam community, through the Facebook community, through Twitter. People saying, these are screenshots from Next. These are amazing. Check these out. People were tweeting them at me saying, Cobra, have you seen these Next leaked images? And I'm like, what? And as soon as I seen them, I'm like, that's Cyrus. And I almost felt guilty. Like, wait a minute. Does Cyrus want to really play with this? Because the first person I mentioned, I talked to that sent it to me. So I was like, no, that's Cyrus. That's not Next. And they're arguing with me, and I'm like, no, I'm telling you, you got to listen to me. And then I'm like, well, shoot, what if Cyrus wants to ARG the heck out of this? Just like, don't tell anybody.
On top of that, I added the hex to just confuse everyone.
Oh, yeah. The hex, that was icing on the cake, man.
I think it was about 80% that were pretty positive about this whole situation, but there was some mixed reactions as well, definitely.
Well, a lot of people were fighting. Well, okay. Well, there was arguing, saying, that people really thought it was part of the ARG. And here's Cyrus saying, guys, official statement, I'm not part of the ARG. And people still didn't believe him. They thought he was lying. And then on top of that, then you got the people that were like, this guy's game jacking. This guy's ARG jacking. He's trying to steal the attention away from the ARG and things like that. He's deceiving WARE.
A lot of people actually didn't see the emails at first. They just logged on Reddit, saw the pictures, and they got really aggressive. But yeah, I mean, it happens. By the way, there's Rayrod that just joined, as well as Presser11, who does amazing screenshots. I was just talking with them before.
Wait, you're on the call? Hey, how'd you guys get on the call? Did I leave the back door open? What's going on, guys? How you doing? I can't even see my screen. Who do we got? Who got on the call?
It's Rayrod.
The man, the meme, the legend himself.
Oh, we got Rayrod, and we have who else?
And, Presser11. He's been taking a lot of screenshots in Rayrod's amazing overhaul. And
yeah, definitely. Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show.
Hey, man.
Thanks, Cobra.
Long time fan, Cobra.
Hey, thanks, buddy. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, bro. It really is.
Thanks, man. I feel honored.
Oh, I'm honored, dude. I'm honored. 100% honored. So, okay. So, man, wow. I feel like a lucky guy. We got a presser. We've got Ray Rod, and we got my voice in the background. Ooh.
Cobra's on his own show.
Man, somebody's got some good bass. That sounds amazing. It doesn't sound that good over here. That's for sure. Okay, Ray Rod, guys, we got Ray Rod on the call. He's the guy who does the Ray Rod Overhaul Mod. Sorry, it's crazy hearing my own voice.
Is it doing the echo thing again, Cobra?
No. My voice, for some reason, there's a delay, and I can hear my voice through my headphones. So sometimes it's like I trip over my words because there's a delay, and I've already, I'm saying a word before I can hear it, and it just, it's really strange.
See,
guys, glad to have you here. We got Cyrus and Ray Rod and Oppressor. I don't even know where to start. It's an all-star lineup. All right,
it's great. Actually, oh, sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so Cyrus is on the call, and so he yeah, man. So people were accusing you of game jacking after they found out and everything like that. So if people have seen these pictures going around, this is Cyrus. Cyrus, is there anything you want to say about all that?
Yeah, I mean, I can give a small snippet. I mean, it's funny because I was just thinking about something that I don't know if this would have had as much impact if it was, art I've done over 6 months. This is actually a gallery of things I started doing, since the first reveal trailer. So it's been a culmination of just, very love, passion-driven artwork. And I didn't do this artwork thinking ever it would be sort of shared on an email newsletter like this. So yeah, it's an honor, and I mean, can't wait to do more.
How did you feel when you first started seeing an email? Because guys, look, Cyrus messaged me as soon as we all got the email. He messaged me saying, "Cobra, does this look the same for you? Are you seeing what I'm seeing, or is it just me?" And I'm like, "Dude, I see it, man. I've seen it."
We're standing in the same place, but we can't see each other.
yeah, right. It's the same email, but only for you.
Yeah, it was my first impression, though. I thought I was still dreaming. But yeah, it was fun. So at that point, I saw the other websites. I saw the guys were being very cryptic, and I decided, hey, why not join in the fun? Contribute to the ARG, add a little Easter egg in there, and what better quote than Star Trek?
Have you guys seen Kyle Culver's new video? His trailer?
No, not yet.
Oh my god, it's amazing, dude. He's
I have to check it out.
Who's?
Yeah.
I think I saw that on my lunch break. Did he make a game?
No.
Or
we all
just
have to
took snips.
We have to make fake game trailers.
Okay.
And we have to. Okay, so let me start over, guys. Okay. One of the things that WARE wants us to do is deceive the public. Okay, so what you need to do is make a fake game trailer, a fake Twitter account for it, and if you have the ability, a fake website and things like that, and submit it to the survey to WARE. If you guys need the links, I could get the links.
I was incredibly deceived. I thought we had to make a full game.
Oh my god.
You have only 2 weeks to make it. Go.
He's over there doing a game jam. Sitting here making a quick game. That's awesome.
Bashing code together.
Cobra.
Yeah.
Cobra, I saw somebody share that video that you uploaded recently. Dude, that really confused me at first until I saw the name.
Which one?
It was that one, that WARE video that you did.
Oh, I didn't do one.
Huh.
Dun, dun.
Cobra Imposter.
It said Arbok Studio.
Oh no. I don't know what you're talking about. It's just... Oh, we got a donation from Sword. Yeah. Hey, Sword, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, I don't think that, if they know it's me, I don't think that they'll pick me. So, so shush. Like, oh, don't pick Cobra. Cobra already got a cassette tape.
Cobra, what was that like for you when you got that cassette tape?
Oh my God, I was so nervous, dude. It was exciting to finally get it, and I actually I had an injury, so I had to crawl to the door because I fell asleep and I woke up and I stepped on my leg. So I fell to the floor, and I was hoping the mailman wasn't going to be there when I opened it up. And but when I got it, I was having trouble getting it onto the internet, so I had to because I had to re-engineer some stuff just to get it onto the computer, and it was taking me too long. So I'm like, okay, well, I got to mention that I have it because Hello Games is probably waiting for me to get this on the internet, right? So I mentioned, hey guys, I am 9 of 16, and online as soon as possible. Man, I've never been harassed, and harassed in a good way. When I mean harassed, I mean like every single notification was going off to the point where it was like a constant hum of noise, right? It was so awesome. But I tell you what, I was so stressed. I had people saying, don't upload it. Hand it over. Just hand it over. And I'm like, who are you?
Like, yeah, that sounds about right.
But I tell you what, man, it was scary, having that responsibility and not messing it up. And to see the way that I had to get it on the internet, I had a device that had a volume control, and then the computer also has a volume control. So if it had the spectrograph in it, I had to make sure that it wasn't going to spike,
Oh, yeah.
And so I didn't realize that at first. And this thing's like over an hour long, and the whole thing, because you don't know what's in it, right? You don't know how much of side A is going to be part of it, or how much of side B is going to be part of it. So I had to redo it a couple of times, and it's just having that responsibility was really scary. And then when I noticed that there was no apparent image in the spectrograph, I kept thinking to myself, I screwed up so bad. No. Oh man. Right. So one of the actors for the ARG, I've called him out once and I realized I made a mistake. So I'm not going to do it again. But one of the actors, he hangs out over on eTart or Atlas 65. He hangs out over there. He was messaging me, helping me figure it out, and helping me get it online the correct way. And big shout out to the guy if he's ever still listening. But yeah, he helped me.
Yeah.
So it was scary.
I would have sent it back. I'm like, I don't need this responsibility. I'm too nervous. Send it back. Somebody else take it.
Hello Games. Hey, I think you sent me the wrong one. Most of this is blank.
I'm like, it's broken. I just snap it. I'm like, you guys send somebody else. No, I don't want it.
Yeah, right. I don't want this responsibility, buddy.
What if it really came down to like needing a specific cassette tape, and then the last guy didn't come forward?
Yeah, right. Oh my God, that would have been horrible. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I was responsible for making the next stage of the ARG move along.
Yeah.
I didn't realize when they were sending me the package that that's what was actually, and what that entails. Dude, you're responsible for this to keep going. And Mr. Wrong Button Cobra. So awesome, Cyrus is on the call. Yeah, it's amazing. Congratulations, dude. I hope you win the dev kit. I hope you win the $1,000 check. That'd be amazing. Later on, we're going to talk about the dev kit. I want to get your opinion on what you think that might be. I know we kind of talked about it this morning, but I want to kind of bring that up again with the late night guys here and kind of figure out, get everybody's opinion on what they think the dev kit is. But first, I want to talk to Ray Rod. Ray Rod's everybody knows who Ray Rod is. He's a household name, even for PS4 players, because us PS4 players, we sit there and we stare at these. Well, I've got the mod now, and I've been playing it, a little bit. And I got to say, it's amazing, and I'm so happy to be able to play a mod. But even PS4 players look at Ray Rod and just wish that they could play it. So that was my cat.
Are you using the V10 right now?
What's that?
His most recent upload, I think it was in January or February.
No, because I don't know how to update it.
Oh, okay.
No, Cobra has the test revision of the immersion update that I'm working on.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, he has that too. But in regard to the PS4, I have the PS4 build partially dumped on my PC, and I'm actually waiting until I get what I need so that I can finish unpacking the PS4 build and work on modding the PS4 version of No Man's Sky.
What? Really?
Yeah. There's actually some PS4 only scenes referenced on the PC version that exist only on the PS4 build. One of them, I believe, is actually the worm. And if you look on the RC1 version of No Man's Sky on the PS4, which is only accessible when you delete all of the updates on the Blu-ray disc on the PS4 version, in the very first version, they actually are still utilizing that clock on the HUD that was seen on the bottom left in the IGN footage video called A Tour of 5 Beautiful Planets. It's still functional on the RC1 build on PS4 that some people are playing. People call it vanilla. I've seen the data for that on the PC version, but I'm not quite sure how Hello Games had it functional. So that's one of the things I'm going to be looking for once I unpack the PS4 build. But I'm going to start real-time memory editing the PS4 build and making file-based modifications to it once I get it fully dumped. Because one of my friends, he and I go back. We're from the GTA V modding scene on PS3, so I come from the PS3 console modding scene, and we made some of the first ASM, low-level assembly mod menus for GTA V on the PS3 before everybody started making menus. And he's actually one of the first people to exploit the PS4. And nowadays there's actually a public PS4 jailbreak. And when I get what I need, I'm going to just start working on No Man's Sky for PS4. I already have some PS4 RC1 exclusive mechanics ported over to the PC version that I just did by memory, and I'm gonna port over PS4 RC1 biomes and other things to the PC version and try to make some cross-platform things.
Can I just say something? Incredible. Like, insert the Sean Murray mind-blown meme.
Yeah, right? Oh, Ray Rod, I got a quick question for you. So since you got your hands inside the mod and, you know, you're going through, I mean, not the mod, but the game itself, and you're looking at files that none of us have seen, and you've probably seen a couple of things here and there. One of the things that, if you remember, when he was playing the game with Anthony Carboni all the way back during PlayStation, before the game released, Sean Murray slept at a monolith that we don't see in the game. And I don't know if you've seen that model or not inside the files, but what I'm more interested in is when he slept at the monolith. If you look up in the corner, you can see a planet right behind the monolith. And when it turns to day, the planet is gone. So that shows that there was planetary rotation during the time he played with Anthony Carboni, just real close to release, actually, not too far before release. And I'm wondering if in the files, if you see any evidence of rotation or orbiting of planets.
Right. So, you know, like what you said is really interesting. I have a friend, his name is GMR Leone. He's actually in the chat, but he actually pointed that out too. Like in IGN footage, like it's very evident that when Sean fell asleep at the monolith, he woke up and the planet wasn't there. It's synonymous to what was actually shown at 1 minute in the Infinite Worlds trailer, where there was planetary rotation actually demonstrated, but it tells us that it actually was there. I have not seen anything in regard to that. We can kind of emulate our own kind of bootlegged effect by, you know, like making a planet rotate, but it's not going to actually change something physically in the game in the way that they had it. It's still a mystery right now. I would probably look for stuff like that on the PS4 build if it's still there, because that build is probably the closest to IGN footage.
All right, so that actually helps me out a little bit. Okay, so a lot of us are wondering, and we thought about this for a while, especially ever since we started talking about this next update, is what could it possibly be? How long are they, people say, okay, well, they've been working on this new update for years, so it's got to be significant. And I've always said, what if it's been longer than a year? What if they released a what they thought was a stable version, a stable build of the game, and that there's another build, the build that we seen them play, and it wasn't stable. And what if they've been working on that build this entire time? And what if that build is actually the build that has the rotating planets in it, even though they said they took it out, and they probably did even in that build? But my point is, if you cannot find evidence that there was actually rotating planets in the build that we have right now, that's proof that there is another build of the game that you don't see. I don't see it. It's just laying around somewhere. Yeah. Right? Or am I wrong?
Ray's been...
I think you're...
sorry. Ray's been, when we were talking and Ray's kind of pointed this out, like there's like a lot of stuff in the files that's just like not in the game. Like just flat out just not there, but they're just in the files. So I would just not be surprised if Cobra, you were completely right.
I was telling Ray, I think it boils down to either optimization issue, like lack of development time, or it's a sort of perhaps legal pressure. I mean, in terms of like, I don't know if you all remember, but there was a little scandal with the super formula.
And, I remember.
In terms of the game being more complex, so maybe that has to do, that impacts the game more than we think, is what I'm trying to say.
So you're probably thinking that along the lines that they were using this super formula and they decided, okay, well, we can't because we're going to get sued. We already just got done with Sky News or Sky whatever. And so they probably had to strip it out. I'm sorry.
Never talked about this. You know?
Yeah. Can I share something?
Sure.
Okay. So, since you're speaking about like certain mechanics that were kind of present pre-release, I actually compiled a list of some things that I've discovered in my time of data mining on the PC version and also from studying Hello Games. Like, it's actually quite maddening, like a lot of the stuff that was present going on, just seen in those trailers and in general. And I do have an idea of kind of what happened, but it's just theory. But these things are written down, it's factual.
Okay.
I said, apart from the literal hundreds of thousands of pre-release mechanics that are scattered and still existing within the files, the E3 pre-release biomes, most of them are still existing and are completely alien to the game's current biome structure. They were partially scripted, but mostly procedural. The rules that also were set per biome were more advanced and would completely transform this game if they were still using those methods. A few of the things done through the pre-release biomes were they specified the amount of life per planet, they specified the kind of unique weather per planet, more detailed multi-weather, unique resource rules, unique building density rules, unique common, uncommon, and rare substance rules, more detailed color palettes, unique rules for water visuals and effects, and underwater per biome, including custom underwater and cave heavy air, unique, more varied terrain per biome with particular seeds. They had specified more advanced creature rules and appearances per biome that is far more complex than what the game currently uses. The amount of variety per biome is about 5 times larger per biome than all of the biomes in the game put together right now. The pop-in was in fade-in was heavily reduced. There were more things to do per biome. They had advanced rules for AI. They had unique sentinel rules, unique trading rules. They specified designated planetary sizes. They had unique flyby rules. They had multi-biome effects, beach biomes, mountain biomes, various underwater biomes, crystal underwater biomes, various cave biomes, per biome, rock biomes, dirt biomes, air biomes, liquid floating floor on the water biomes, underwater buildings, and a lot of other stuff. Those are just a few mechanics that I discovered from looking at only one file. But the 2013 through 2015 build also had very high quality clouds, which were not pixelated right now. There was no noise in the sky. They had more varied space colors, more varied and immersive space heavy air, more things going on in space, procedural factions. There's data for that still in the executable, actually. Overhauled space AI. There were full in-space wars going on actually on top of the planets. I recently re-enabled on-planet space battles. Not referring to like fighting other ships shooting, but like actual battles going on in front of you on the planets. They had multiple kinds of crescent worlds flowing at the same time. They had multiple kinds of eclipses. They had overhauled atmospherics that are now disabled at the moment, but you can re-enable them and configure them to be dynamic. They had extreme weather biomes, a subtle depth of field that was dynamic. The vignette was very subtle. The water shader was better. It was more reflective and more natural looking, and it wasn't pixelated. They had walking NPCs. Space stations were possible to hover in the atmosphere or on planetary surfaces like that atlas, the atmospheric atlas that I recently made. The weather was more detailed. There were a lot of more varied spaceships. Some spaceships had a higher resolution and more detailed textures. There was a way to view your creature discoveries in its own unique page within the inventory and open up a pop-up box for them and view the model in full screen with details and information. The galactic map had more going on inside of it. The lighting overall looked more natural and more realistic and still gave you the vibe of walking in a painterly sci-fi novel. There were more kinds of terrain textures. There are hundreds and hundreds of thousands of props and flora scattered in the files right now that are not utilized. Ships were able to explode and hit the surface and break apart and shatter into pieces with a particular animation. There were certain iconic ships in the trailer that are currently not enabled, almost done. Freighters slowly move on planets and there were battles. The terrain was a lot more varied. The textures were more detailed. It sounds like
breathe. Hold on. Take a breath. Breathe for a second. Just calm down. Wait.
Inhale, exhale.
Yes. Take a breather and then restart.
I'm dying.
Okay.
I'm dying.
So the textures.
Hello Games is here right now. Sorry.
So it's another game, basically.
The sound effects and in-game music was more detailed and expanded than it currently is right now. I'm excited for next. But there was actual planetary rotation, like you were saying earlier, in IGN footage at the playthrough of Bolari 5 and the Infinite Worlds trailer at exactly 1 minute. There's actual data for orbital mechanics. The asteroids use actual terrain and were all procedural. The atmospherics and lighting and sky colors allowed for bioluminescent type biomes. The terrain generation when flying down to planets at times could be more subtle, but they did make improvements on that. Taking off in your ship didn't skyrocket you, but it felt more natural. I actually found what in the game handles that after a year of looking, so that, like the Orion V footage with the subtle takeoff, I got that working. Sentinel drones didn't explode and disappear after destroying them, but they fell to the ground and rolled away. I restored that. The user interface in the HUD had certain mechanics, like different ones, and a lot more going on. The weapons had more mechanics to them. It goes on, but those are just a few things I discovered. And honestly, it's not even 1% of the things that I've discovered, and it's not even 1% of the things that were going on in that build. I tell you, if you look back at those awesome trailers, and to me, it just gets me excited. I'm hoping that we see these things fully fleshed out, and I respect Hello Games, and I can't wait to see what they do next. But here's the thing: if you look, the more that I watch those trailers, as someone who restores E3 and pre-release mechanics as a living, because I'm creating a modernized E3 build with my own twist to it, the more I watch the trailers, the more I see things that I've never seen before, and I've seen them hundreds of times. Like many other people. And the more I watch them, the more I realize how much I don't know and have yet to discover. But, I just study Hello Games, study the files, study everything that's going on, and just remake it.
It's really amazing how, we're all exploring No Man's Sky, but Ray Rod over here is exploring it in such a different way, in a more intimate way. And he's seen things that, seeing information, at least, that we've never seen. It's almost like watching the movie The Matrix, and the guy was like, what's this? And he goes, oh, it's The Matrix, and it's just a bunch of numbers. And he goes, yeah. He goes, yeah, I don't even see the numbers anymore. I see blondes, brunettes, blah, blah, blah. So it's almost like that's what Ray Rod reminds me of. But I've got to say that, in my opinion, I think the game looks a heck of a lot better than the E3 footage from back then. I mean, the dinosaurs, yes, I really want to see that. But as far as like the E3 planets and everything like that, oh my gosh, I think the game looks so much better. I think I'm in a very small crowd of people that agree with that. But my point, okay, well, the smoking gun, I think out of everything that Ray Rod said, is that he does not see I think this is what you said. You don't see like evidence in our build to be able to have the rotating and orbiting planets. So therefore, that tells me that there's another build of the game. And now I'm not a game developer, but does that seem like that's the case, Rerod?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. Like, from my experience in like data mining, there like I just want to knock out a few misconceptions real quick. One is there's a misconception in regard to the PC and PS4 version lacking certain things due to hardware requirements. But actually, if you look at the Araya V Dense Rainforest footage, that video was recorded on a PlayStation 4. So it's not a performance thing. What it all boils down to is the way that the biomes are set up, and often GLSL shader related things and other things that are going on that determine the performance of the game. Because I'm getting 100 frames per second in a dense forest after optimizations that I've made, and it can surely be done on the PS4. In fact, it already was done pre-release. But in regard to what you said about the planetary rotation, like me not seeing data for that, I mean, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's not there. I mean, in fact, there's actual data from the very first beta version of No Man's Sky present in the files pre-2013. It's just everything is scattered all abroad in the files with little to no explanation in regard to how they had it working and how they did it. So I kind of figured these things out and role play with deductive reasoning. Why did Hello Games do this or this that way or this way? Why didn't they do this? And put the pieces together and search through the executable, test different things to try to get these things working and find them manually. It's like a treasure hunt. So there probably is something for it somewhere. It's just the scope of everything is so big, and one thing usually connects to another. Like, for example, in regard to like those atmospherics that they had pre-release, the thing is, like, the groundwork for it is still there. It's just that they took out the template. You know, like, I'm pretty sure you know that I've been like looking at concept art paintings and E3 screenshots and stills and replicating those atmospherics by real-time executable hacking and also utilizing Python scripting, you know, that I'm studying right now and all that stuff. Well, here's the thing. What I'm doing that with, I'm pretty sure that back then they had another file with their own kind of templates that were exactly used in the trailers, but right now they're using something completely different, which is what's used in vanilla, the base game right now, which is different than what they had back then. So I have to like pretty much recreate it from scratch based off of what I'm seeing, like panning in the game with XML code. But here's the thing. Like, even though I have to recreate that from scratch, it's possible that somewhere in the files that there could be something that could make that rotation work, but you probably have to do improvisation and get a little creative and do it yourself, unless it really is something that they scrapped. But from my experience, I haven't really known Hello Games to just remove stuff. It's like everything is just there. You just don't know where it is, so you have to find it. And I think I'm pretty much one of the only people who's actually taking on the burdening task of finding all of these things and trying to restore them. I'm about like 8,000 hours into it, 10,000 actually, because I've been planning what I wanted to do with No Man's Sky since 2013, forming ideas. And it wasn't always about E3, you know, because I didn't know how it was going to launch, but reworking games is what I do for a living as a gameplay design artist.
That's awesome.
You got a donation.
Yeah, spell check. Thank you so much. Hashtag spell check in the chat. What a co-bro. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, spell check.
Did you see what he said? He's
like,
nerds.
Nerds?
Oh. He's like, nerds.
So check this out. Okay. I think it's cool that Cyrus is on the show, because Cyrus, aren't you the person that called? Maybe you're not, but aren't you the person that called and were telling me about the hidden files, the grays?
The Grays?
Or is that somebody else?
Yes,
yeah.
I did talk to you about that a while ago.
Yeah, okay.
I also created some art with, like, teasing the other races, basically, way before.
If you go back and you look at those, because I was watching one of my older videos because someone had pointed something out to me. If you go back and you look at that video where I talked about the Grays, those are actually the Travelers.
Yes, they are. Like those cat-like features. And
yeah. Definitely. So that's pretty cool. So, when you're thinking about things that are evident in the game files, I'm pretty sure that it wouldn't be hard to miss something as big as orbiting planets. Maybe this is just me trying to make myself believe that there is another build that they're working on that we haven't seen yet. I think that's what it could be. And that's, that makes me feel more comfortable or more excited, actually, that there's a different build that they're getting ready to release.
This for me, and from what Rayrod has just been explaining right now, it seems like it has something to do with synchronization as a whole, right? Because if you think of orbits, time, clocks, multiplayer, all those things come in line together. And it is perhaps possible that this game in its static space physics mode is where they can put all these features, modules, test them out, while in parallel, they're actually working on a sort of larger scope build, right?
I agree with that.
Which features all these dynamic elements.
And let me tell you something else. Hold on one second. Now, let me tell you something else that I believe what you just said. And okay, so you know how they added this wisps, how we're glitches, and how we're the orbs floating around, and we think that that's their big step into multiplayer, right? Yeah. They didn't work very hard on that as far as okay, the place. It's great. That's not what I mean. That came out wrong. It was probably something that was really quick and easy for them to implement, and was not as a hard of worked on feature as we think, and so therefore these updates were probably really simple for them while they're working on a bigger build. Now the orbs, they just use that from some already used asset that was already in the game, because those used to be the planet markers that were.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So
in the portal.
Right. So all they did was just take an already used asset and said, okay, you know what? This looks good. Let's make it to where they look like these, and we'll write some lore behind it. So that convinces me that they're heavily working on another build, and they're making
this
these
is more
updates.
filler.
And
yes.
Cobra, something that you said, kind of like, in regard to like there potentially being another build, like something that's probably worth mentioning is, remember I was talking about like, in regard to like the visual appearance of like the older builds being drastically different.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Like, how I mentioned like the multiple eclipses and multiple kinds of crescent worlds and all these crazy things that they had flowing. It is there's no doubt that after all of this time that there have been numerous visual improvements. It's awesome, like how hard Hello Games has been working. But that back then they had a lack of anti-aliasing for one thing. But here's the thing. Yeah. They have like, I've seen like 20 different iterations of the Crescent Worlds, for example, that they had back then. And some of the pictures, if you dig deep enough, I'll send you one of them later, I guess. Like, it's incredible, and it looks drastically different than, what is right now. Not saying that to be negative, of course, but I'm just pointing it out. But the fact that they had 20 different iterations of Crescent Worlds, for example, it's just with that alone, it could possibly indicate that they have different builds. I'm not saying that that's a definite. Like, it would actually make sense that all of this time that they had something else that they were working on, but in the meantime, to hold us over, that they were gradually filling us in with new content prior to what is next.
Yeah, I agree. And also, there was an interview that it's not an interview; it's a speech that Sean Murray is giving at the ESA, and he talked about this is the weekend before the game was purchasable, and he talked about the roadmap of what the updates are going to be. He talked about base building. He talked about Land Rovers. He talked about all that stuff and freighters. And this is before we even knew what they were going to give us as far as updates. All right. This is before the game was on the shelf. So that also tells me that they had some of this stuff maybe already kind of ready to go, and that by me saying that kind of makes me think that they didn't spend too much time on these updates, more like somebody just using them, or somebody there optimizing these in a build and making sure it worked, while the other guys worked on what they wanted the game to be in the final vision.
So these were just a snack, and we're waiting for the main course, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
They're just the chips that you get before you get your dinner. This is just the chips. We're just
If you think about it, like the builds, like every update, it's typically like, even though we're downloading usually, I'm guessing like a gigabyte or so of content, the thing is like the amount of changed content upon every update usually amounts to like maybe around a couple or maybe 500 megabytes, because many of the files that are included in each update actually consist of unchanged files. So we're pretty much downloading a lot of redundant files. But here's the thing, with the changes that Hello Games does, especially with Atlas Rises, those changes, even though it may be like 500 megabytes or so, they're all significant. So I just wanted to point that out.
All right, awesome. We got a new caller on the show. We got Jamie. Jamie, how you doing, bud?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. Doing pretty good. Talking to the amazing data from Star Trek. I mean, Ray Rod.
Yeah. I've been hearing a lot of technical jargon going on, and I know exactly what this is. As a PS4 player, I'm pretty jealous. We don't experience your sorcery, but I've been seeing a lot of it on YouTube, and I have to say I'm quite impressed with what you've been able to do. So whatever sorcery you're cooking up there, hopefully some of it will get implemented into the next.
It really is sorcery.
It really is. I have no idea how you do this stuff, but one is impressed.
Yeah, dude, I've seen some pictures, and I don't know how it looks because I haven't really seen video, but I've seen pictures of like animals, alien fauna that stretch all the way up to the clouds.
Yeah,
I have some photos of that if you want to see.
Yo, I've seen tons of photos, and I would love to see your photos, man. You make some great screenshots, dude.
Thank you. I'll see if I can post them up for you.
All right, awesome. But yeah, man, Jamie, welcome to the show, man. What brings you on tonight?
Thanks, man. I've been a long-time player of the game since launch. I've been following your stuff for a while, and I thought I'd just pop in, have a quick word, and kind of discuss the game that we're all excited about, and kind of talk more about the update.
Awesome. Very awesome. I would like to open up the discussion. You know what? I think it'd be interesting to get Ray Rod's opinion on WARE, the dev kit, and the fact that they're, bleeding reality and fiction in such a weird way I've never seen done before, and asking the community to, positively do this, but deceive the gaming industry, so to speak, and get your whole opinion on WARE, Ray Rod.
Yes. I got distracted. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. What's your opinion on WARE?
Right? What is my opinion on WARE?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I have not been really keeping up with Wake and Titan that much. I've been too lost in my work. But one thing I am happy about is that Cyrus's awesome fan art, which is not officially next, but maybe we don't know what's going to happen with next. That I'm glad that he got attention from that. That he finally got recognition, because he makes some really nice art.
Thanks, Ray. I can give some thoughts on WARE if you want, Cobra.
Sure, go ahead.
Personally, I think that VR is something that would be awesome for No Man's Sky. And we talked about this before, how, the current game, implementing it fully is something that is hard. And if it does come, it would probably be progressively throughout these more simplified modes, right? Like ambient mode and everything. But what's interesting with this WARE company and the mix of fiction and the new re-release with these partnerships, I was just telling Ray Rod and Oppressor 11 before.
Yeah.
If this is indeed a sort of tease for a new hardware, I don't think it would be from Microsoft. I don't think Microsoft would allow something like this. But I was thinking that in terms of their new partnership with Tencent and Wii Game, it would actually be interesting if they chose to tease and leak some form of new VR headset with No Man's Sky, with this ARG, and to attract this sort of market. But
okay, so if that's the case, they know that the submissions that you guys did are not actual games, right? So they're actually putting runners up to win this contest of things that they know are not real.
Of course. But it's mostly to attract a fan base, a community around a game, and give exclusivity to that game, to the hardware, is what I mean.
Right. But they're going to be giving a dev kit out to a developer that they choose.
It's very strange. It's very strange. I must say I'm lost in my own arguments.
Yeah, I don't know. So, I really, okay. Sometimes I think, okay, well, it's VR. But then you got to think this is a fictional site, almost like Super Lumina and Myriad and things like that. It's trying to tell the lore, and what I think is going to happen, now Armand is sick now, all right? He can't, his girlfriend left a message on the voicemail. This is part of the Waking Titan development. I did a recap on this part where the girlfriend, if you call Armand's phone number, who's the developer that we can hack into through WARE, and if you call his phone number, there's now a message where his girlfriend says that he cannot come to the phone. His condition has worsened or something like that. And so, here we have a developer, WARE, who's trying to make itself look real. But one of the developers that's using WARE is actually, seems like there's something wrong. Maybe he's stuck inside WARE. So it's still playing with the lore. It's still the story.
Insane.
It's very meta. And what's crazy is that, see, it goes back to the other thing that I was saying about these submissions, right? Is that the other two submissions are very ARG orientated. Mine wasn't at all before that hex code thing I added after the mails, right? It was just my website. It's not a fictional website. It's a freelancer/artist website, is what I mean. So it's very strange that this is now, and it even mentions the word No Man's Sky, right, in my description, like a spiritual successor to No Man's Sky is what I wrote. And the fact that a fictional company that's technically not in the No Man's Sky universe is mentioning that name is in itself like sort of crossing the boundaries of this whole fictional universe. Yeah, it's really strange.
So Cobra, like the people who win this contest or whatever, they get like some kind of thing where they can make a game, right? A dev kit.
There's a dev kit prize and there's a $1,000 prize. I don't know how they're being. I don't know if like one's a first place and one's a runner up. I don't know.
Do you think the dev kit is actually going to be something they can make games on, or do you think it's going to be like some type of puzzle box that relates back to the ARG?
I don't know what it's going to be, but I don't think it's who's typing?
Ray Rod.
Sounds like Ray Rod.
The loudest keyboard.
Oh, yes. Late at night, I just hear...
Can you mute if you're going to type, bro?
Yeah, no problem. Got it.
Thanks, buddy. But okay, when we're thinking of what's being picked for submissions, think about it like this also. Allison Smith, I don't know how much they know about the game. They've been hired to do puzzling on the internet, and they design these puzzlings and they design community interactions and things like that. So Allison Smith is actually controlling WARE. Now you could tell because all the addresses, all the things pointing to the location is Montreal, Canada. So that's Allison Smith, 100%. And sometimes the English in some of the text is not done very well because Anna Shell, the puppet master for Allison Smith, speaks very broken English. He speaks French, and so you could kind of see that in some of the emails. There was a typo in the last email that we had, and so when you're thinking about Allison Smith picking things that they know are in the update, I don't know. I mean, if they would know that much about the game that they're doing this ARG for. I mean, I could be wrong. What do you guys think?
But if Hello Games is still, orchestrating the thing in terms of them hiring this Allison and Smith, right? I mean, they would still have to oversee some sort of, final proofread of all this content that is outletted.
True. True.
Yeah, they still have the final say.
Yeah, they couldn't let this go if it had, crazy wordings and stuff like that. They probably had like an oversight of all this. They probably went through it. and they knew exactly like the site they were choosing. I believe, at least.
I'm just going to put my opinion out there. I don't think this has anything to do with VR, even though it looks like it, and I don't think it does. I think it's just a lure. I think this is a device, you know, just like it says, it's post VR, it's past VR, and I think what it's going to do is it's going to be the lore of how we got stuck inside the simulation, and where we got controlled by the Atlas, or because you know, the first Awakened Titan, we get to see how the Atlas was made, and then we just assumed, okay, well, now she's going to go create the simulation. Well, it looks like the WARE device is a way into that simulation. Maybe we all get stuck as travelers inside the simulation, or we're watching the beginning of the convergence for the Korvax actually happen. So
yeah, that is super interesting. Yeah,
yeah, that's what I think WARE is. I don't think it's real.
But do you really think they would risk it, like with the design being so close to VR and the even the concept of the headset? Like if it had no correlation with like some future implementation of VR in No Man's Sky, even if it's not for now, even if it's for later on, you know what I mean?
Right. As you're saying that, I'm sitting there staring at my screen and I'm looking at the logo there, and it says VARE. So I don't know, man.
No Man's Sky for Microsoft HoloLens confirmed.
VR confirmed.
What if that stands for Virtual Reality Edition? I have no idea.
You know, as much as I would love that, VR makes me so ill, but I would have to do it. I don't care. I would have to do it.
What kind of VR have you tried, though?
I've tried pretty much all of them. I've got a PSVR. I play that a lot, but I get really nauseous. So maybe I'm just need to get used to it.
I must say, I've been following like VR since 2012. I actually bought the first Oculus DK1. I was obsessed in my whole life with VR. But at first, I was so excited. You know, I finally got VR, and I could just not use it. I would feel ill every single time, and I was like, "What is this? This is terrible." So I kind of dropped it for a while. You know, I wasn't able to use it. And then I sort of started getting back in after the DK2 and then the consumer version. And you know, I grew my VR legs straight away. Now I do VR like almost every day, and I use it to sculpt, actually, like 3D sculpt. And I mean, it's one of the most amazing tool I've ever used. You know, so for me, I'm a avid follower, promoter of VR, I would say.
I probably just need to play a bit more, and maybe I'll get used to it.
Nice, yeah.
That's awesome.
I hope you do.
I hope it does too, but at the same time, think about the fact that this is going to be now available on 4 different platforms. You know, 10-cent Wii game, Xbox, PC, and PS4. I think a lot of times we're all PC and PS4, and when we think about this update, we're thinking about this update for us, and we got the VR. You know, we got VR on Sony, on PC, but you know, this update is not just an update. It's an actual launch of the game at the same time. So
yeah.
That's
you know, it's gonna. So I don't know. It's so confusing, and it's gonna be so much trouble if it's not VR. I could just see it, you know, because I was listening to a podcast last night, and there were PSVR guys doing a podcast on PSVR games, and they were like talking about the No Man's Sky news. And they go, "Hey, it's almost pretty much confirmed that there's going to be VR with No Man's Sky, PSVR.
Carpets and curtains, Cobra. It's all good. It's all good.
I know. That's what I felt like saying, you know. But these guys, they're not even No Man's Sky fans. You know, they just report on all PSVR news, right?
Yeah.
And because they both admitted to not even playing the game, and they didn't throw shade at it. You know, they didn't talk bad about it, or didn't even talk good about it. They were just talking about the fact that it's pretty much confirmed to them that they are going to have PSVR with No Man's Sky. And they even pointed out the whole hex code with Morpheus and things like that. And I'm just like, this is out of control. These guys aren't even fans of this game, and they're reporting on news that No Man's Sky is going to be VR. There's no way that this, you know, that, okay, Sean Murray sitting at the studio, you know, he sees all this VR stuff all over the place.
But that's what I mean. I'm pretty sure they would have seen this coming. You know what I mean? With this certain direction they took with the ARG, like they would definitely have expected this. After all that happened to Hello Games so far, I think they're if there's one thing they're probably good at right now, it's predicting the follow up of their actions.
Yeah, then they're going to be a bit more cautious about kind of what they're going to announce.
All right, but think about that. But think about that in conjunction with 505 Games, and I talked about this morning, how the text that they're using to sell this game was the same text they used to sell the game the first time around, where they talked about something is amazing at the center. They talked about limitless variety on animals. It talks about orbiting planets and things like that. So
I hope that's not a coincidence, though. I hope that's not just like, oh, well, we're just trying to think of something to market it with, so we're just going to use what we already have.
Yeah, right. I hope it's a coincidence, too.
That's one thing I worry about. Like, yeah.
Look, this could either be like the biggest, coolest thing we've ever seen, or we could be getting ready to witness, as streamers, people who streamed the game, how many times in the past year and a half have you been harassed by people just seeking out streams just to harass you for playing the game? I mean, that's been a common theme. And if 505 Games doesn't fix that text and the game releases and that stuff still isn't in a game, then we're all going to have to live through that all over again. It's going to be crazy.
What do you think would be like? What would cause the most like backlash from the community? Like what, like feature or lack of a feature?
If they don't add multiplayer, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
If they're like, well, you know what? No, you're going to stick with the little glowing orbs. You know, we thought about it. We like the orbs. They would just lose their mind.
Orbs are good.
I personally love the orbs, but yeah.
You can put hats on the orbs now.
It's a reused asset. But look, Xbox people they're going to review this game. They're going to review it. You know, you got some big Xbox streamers, and they're going to review this game, and they're probably already planning on throwing it under the bus. Now, if the game releases, what are they going to use? We all know about the interviews. No one's going to bring up the interviews again. But what they are going to bring up is they're going to take that text on 505 Games and they're going to use that for their review.
Of course they are, yeah.
So that's going to be that's the biggest backlash right there. 505 Games has really got to research what they're doing, and if it's not true, if it's not in a game yet, they need to change it.
So do you think that went through any games? I was a little bit out of the loop of that. Is it just like another retailer?
It's a publisher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think
they do a few other things. What's the most recent thing they did? They do a couple of RPGs, I believe. They released Abzu on the PS4 and Xbox as well, when that got a physical release on the Xbox last year.
I'll say that again. Start over.
Abzu, you know the game. It's like Journey but underwater. Yeah, they when that got the Xbox One release, they physically released that on the Xbox, and it also got a physical release on PS4 because it was just digital only. So they seem to do a lot of re-releases as well on platforms that didn't have it before, from what I've seen.
So how was that? Okay, that was wow. So did they make a big deal out of that release or no?
It wasn't a big deal. It wasn't marketed as much. It was a great game on PS4, and when it came out to Xbox, they said, okay, we're releasing it physically for both PS4 and Xbox One now, but it wasn't like hyped up marketed or anything. But I would have thought that if they were going to put a description in for the game, would Hello Games not have said, okay, you can use this first? Or did they just, like you said, just copy and paste from the previous one when the game launched?
Yeah, I'm kind of worried that maybe some intern put that together.
Well, Hello Games has to know. I mean, they know things. Sean Murray's got his hands in everything.
Things are happening.
He's the puppet master. He knows things.
I don't know, man. This has been a really strange ride. And I okay.
It's a bit strange.
When I first seen this game, right, I looked at my wife and I'm like, this is amazing. And she goes, the game? I'm like, yes. But not only the game, but it's how polarizing it is to the gaming industry, right? Mm-hmm. And then when the game came out and I saw what happened, I looked at my wife and I'm like, this is weird. Like, I cannot believe there's so much controversy over this game, over this indie game. I can't believe it. And, you know, the fact that everyone was saying that it was the most hyped game ever, but yet I couldn't find anybody in real life who ever heard of it because I wanted to talk to people about it and I couldn't find anybody.
Me too. I know, exactly. I asked a few people who are in gaming and they had no idea what it was.
Maybe like a vocal minority, that type of thing.
Well, I think it got hyped because like he was going on like the Colbert Show and Late Night. You know, what other game developer goes on those shows to talk about a video game?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is like one of the first, and that's why it kind of built up the hype, I think.
And see, that was strange too. Why was he there? Why? He didn't give a release date.
John Muir's a genius, man. He's a genius.
He
knew people were going to hate on it, and then he was going to put it out, and then he's going to blow people's minds. It was all part of the plan, Cobra.
So there's been a couple times.
All part of the plan.
There's been a couple times I thought, okay, my channel's I either got to move into a different direction or just shut it down, right? Because the game's out, and but I thought to myself, no, wait a minute, it doesn't feel like the story of Hello Games is over yet. Right? There's no period yet, So, and I felt like I kept telling my wife, I'm like, there's something strange, something I can't figure it out, but there's something more to the story. Not the story in the game, but the story of just a whole development, the release, to everything. And then when Atlas Rises came out, I kind of felt like, all right, that's it. It's done. But then, no, it's not. Now with this whole coming to Xbox and what makes this even stranger is, did they fix those things in the 505 game text? Are they aware of it? Yes, they should be. Like Adam says, they're not, they know now. They know to be careful. But then again, are they? Are they really paying attention? Are they that closed off that they might not know? And the VR, are they really paying attention? Do they really know that people are going crazy about VR? They have to be. They have to be.
Yeah, I'm sure they I know that they check Reddit all the time and they see all this stuff posted. And is there someone here? I was kind of distracted earlier, but who the images, the artwork that got uploaded that people thought were leaked screenshots? Was it one of you two guys or one of you three guys?
Yeah, it was
created it.
The artist, the artist is here, Cyrus.
Because I looked at it. I remember when that got uploaded to Reddit, I was like, oh, leaked screenshots. And then I looked at it, I was like, wait, I've seen these before. And they're really good.
Thank you. I've been posting them on Reddit and CSD forums for quite some time.
It's good stuff. And I want to kind of mention that when the first thing I thought when the Xbox One version got announced, I was like, this is a great chance for the game to get re-reviewed potentially, and people can then review it for what it's currently at and not what it's at launch. So hopefully that will maybe change opinions if it gets reviewed more favorably, which it will, which it should do.
Hey, Johnny in the chat, he says thumbs down for not having gameplay instead of acid tripping BS. This is a podcast. I'm not really playing the game right now, so if you wanna go watch some gameplay,
I could stream some of my gameplay.
All right, sure, yeah. All right, yeah, cool. Go ahead and do that. But this is a podcast, buddy. I don't know if you know what a podcast is, but it's kind of like a radio show for adults. It's a gaming. This is for the grown-ups. Sorry,
grown-ups are talking.
I don't know.
Yeah, the grown-ups are talking, buddy.
Says the guy with the tinfoil hat
in
his screen right now.
What if it has all been planned?
Cobra's like,
we got the drunk talker. What's going on, buddy? How you doing, man?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. How's everybody here tonight?
Oh, doing great.
Doing
great.
Peachy.
So who's getting ready to stream?
I am going to set it up here.
Okay. All right. Give me. Actually, it'd be easier if you just give you the link to your channel.
Sure. Let's see here.
Whoever's watching, hit the like button. You know you want it. Smack in the face.
I'm quite literally trying to create a Twitch account. I never really stream per se, but
what are you streaming?
I'd be streaming the game from the immersion update that Ray Rod's been making.
Oh, nice.
All right, so Ray Rod's streaming.
I have a question for Ray Rod. He left, didn't he? Is he still here?
Hi. Hey, man.
Hey. I'm earlier in the stream, about an hour or so in, give or take, I was typing at the time, but I thought you mentioned something about the sandworms, and I would like you to clarify on that, on something about the original, as we called it, vanilla version with PS4. If I heard it right.
Yeah, he did mention something about worms. Hey, Rayrod, can you stream live on YouTube? That way it can, because it's a little choppy over Skype.
Sure. Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, just to answer your
Cobra,
question.
are you wearing a tinfoil hat?
Yeah. Wait a minute. Who was going to provide the stream? Was that Oppressor or was that Rayrod?
That was Connor Heaton. He was making Oppressor 11. He was making a Twitch account. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
I just made it. I'm gonna see how this will work.
Okay. Okay. All right. So,
Tim, about
Johnny, we'll get you some gameplay here in a second, buddy.
Sandworms, Rayrod, go.
About what I was saying earlier is that I have the PS4 build partially dumped on my on my PC, and I'm going to be modding the PS4 build in time, and there are PS4 only files referenced on the PC build. They're hard to find, and one of those I said I believe is the sandworm that we've been shown in the trailers. And I was talking about the RC1 build, the vanilla 1.0 that people talk about when they delete the updates, that there is some things that are closer to the IGN footage that are present there, that are just still there. But once I can data mine that, fully, then I can get my hands on some, more than likely, a lot of useful information. There's probably a gold mine of information on there that I'm really interested in.
I would like to throw something out here to you, since I have the actual opportunity to speak with you, and I'm no coder, so this is just coming off the top of my head, and everybody here knows what comes off the top of my head is usually pretty out there.
Hey, I'm no coder. I'm no coder either, Taco.
Yes. Yeah,
yeah. But wouldn't the planets in the younger versions of the game, to where you would come across, it would generally be flat, and there would be canyons. Of course, there would be caves within the canyons, but ignore the caves. But just massive canyons dug out into a massive flat plain. Wouldn't it be generally easy coding wise, or easier compared to the way most people would think, to make just a massive circle of a canyon and then space it out by a few miles on the planet to another massive circle of canyon? And if you hit that one of those circles of a canyon while you're in it, occasionally you might feel a tremble. You may hear a sound, and then all of a sudden, a massive worm just flows through. It only appears when you're in that specific area, and then when it goes around the curve, it's gone.
Yeah, as awesome as that would be, creating scripted events with No Man's Sky is I don't think it's something that people are really doing at the time. It's probably a lot more complicated, or maybe not even feasible to the extent that we would want to take it.
Okay.
Yeah, I was getting ready to ask about that, Rayrod. Would it even be possible in a procedurally generated game to make a scripted event?
I think that there were scripted events, in the old trailer, that rhino that was knocking down the trees, for example. But the thing is about the E3 trailers and those planets, they were partially scripted, but mostly procedural. That was an actual working build that they had going on there. Sure, there were some things that were unfinished, pretty much the only things that I've seen that were unfinished that were in those old builds was a few buildings. Other than that, all of those mechanics, they're still there. They're just not enabled by default, but they're there right now. And whether they be small or large, they do make a really nice difference. And that's pretty much what the overhaul is, restoring that old build, and bit by bit, gradually, But yeah. They had some scripted events.
Just say something though. Like we do have scripted events already in the game right now. These crash freighters, and when you get attacked by pirates, and when you have a specific, objective marked with an appropriate building placed for you, those are sort of scripted events in their own ways. Now it's more in terms of like actual
crash freighters.
Of course, but that does mean that they're yes.
Yeah, but there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to their placement, though.
The crash freighters, they're like model files that are being called. Like, remember when you and Connor, Oppressor 11 and I were talking about the planet building table, how I was making these procedural things like to tell the game, okay, well, you can spawn this here or there. Like, the game has a file that's calling particular models to spawn, whether underwater or on land, and it determines the kind of placement and the density of those buildings or structures and the kind of effects that it has on the terrain around it. But sadly, that file is static. I mean, like those pirates, like the pirates warping in, like pirates warping in, ships warping in. Yeah, I'm not sure. Sadly, those things, they're like static to an extent. I mean, they're like static. Like you can't, unfortunately, at this moment, you can add to the planet building table. Like you can change what's already there. And fortunately, not all the slots are utilized in the base game. You can do more to it. I did add like hundreds of new rules to all AI activity. I even managed to get freighters warping into biomes and skidding along mountains and shooting at people.
It was amazing.
I mean, that kind of looked like a scripted event, but
Yeah,
maybe
exactly.
it's already the groundwork for in the game.
Ray Rod, you never cease to amaze me.
What if all of this is planned? What if all of this is planned from the beginning, and they just expected people to have a totally different opinion than what they do have, or maybe they expected the opinions that everybody does have, and there's more to this than what we're seeing, or Xbox wouldn't take on this. I mean, what if like Microsoft at E3 just announces their own VR device, and what if No Man's Sky happens to be one
Like
of
the flagship thing? That'd be so awesome.
I mean, one of the launch titles. I mean, everything has a launch title, you know. So I mean, what if that happens?
Well, here's the rub, Taco. I don't think Hello Games planned for a disastrous launch.
Oh no. They knew this was with everything that's happening right now, with all the companies taking advantage of what's out there right now. They know something we don't.
I'm sure they do.
Oh yeah.
Now, normally I would, disagree, because like the Abzu going to Xbox wasn't a big deal, and but it was because it had a physical release too. So,
yeah.
But when you're concerning No Man's Sky, it's a very controversial game. You know what I mean? Like, so as soon as they announced it, there were so many Xbox podcasts that began talking about it, saying, "Why are you doing this? We already got Sea of Thieves. Why are you bringing this one? Why?
Yeah, or we've got Elite Dangerous. Why do we need this? Yeah.
Yeah. So, there was all that talk, right from the start. So it's a very controversial game. So I wouldn't look at this, like a normal port over. As
it's a relaunch. You said it. You said it yourself. It's a relaunch.
Right. It is. Yeah. It's a big relaunch. We got Rude TV on the call. Rude, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Cobra. How's it going, man? How's everyone doing?
Going great, man. Thank you for the donation in the chat, bud. I'm sorry I didn't thank you earlier. Just didn't want to interrupt anybody.
Oh, no. I totally understand, man. So, yeah, we're all, anticipatedly waiting. Anything new as of now going on?
Waking Titan, WARE. So we're all supposed to make this fake game project and go to the survey and we're supposed to.
Yeah, I received the email. I received
right.
the second email from them.
So people are starting, to get noticed for those projects that they're submitting. Cyrus on the call right now with us. He is Venture Unknown. He's one of the games that were featured.
I actually put a Reddit post up there a few days ago, and I was actually shocked because I didn't know what was going on, and I didn't know Cyrus was the one doing the artwork, which is amazing, by the way.
Yes, it is.
It looks.
Thank
like
you very much.
Legit. I really thought it was legit. So I put up a Reddit post, and I was like, "Whoa! I just received the transmission. Like, what's going on?" So I quickly deciphered it, and then I was just like,
Nice.
"Oh wait, this must be like someone trolling or something." And then,
just the fact that you thought his artwork was legit shows you how good Cyrus really is.
Yes, I was just like, man,
Cyrus is a beast.
I give him credit. I was thinking, like, is this the guy?
He's a manimal.
Yeah, so I was like, is this the guy that Hello Games hired? Like, what's going on? So,
hey, Cobra, real quick, you said that during the late show that this was an adult channel. Should I continue to be me, or should I be the drunken taco?
I love the drunken taco. I love the drunken taco.
Are you sure? And is everybody in this chat sure? And everybody witnessing this chat sure? Because
hold on, wait, before this gets out of control. Hold on. Look, my entertainment value is okay. Let me tell you who I like. I don't know if anybody remembers Opie and Anthony from the past.
He likes no bad but me, and I don't blame him.
Wait, does anybody know who Opie and Anthony is?
Yeah, yes, Opie recently got fired, didn't he?
All right. Yeah. Okay, so I'm big O&A fans, right? I love that type of shot jock radio. I just, with all the younger kids that do watch my channel, and they don't comment a lot, but I got parents that email me all the time to say, hey, my twins like your show. They think it's really great, and I'm glad that you kind of keep it clean so that they can enjoy it and things like that. That's why, all right? It's not because of YouTube. I'm not afraid of YouTube. I don't care what YouTube tries to do to me. It's the fact that I just want to try and keep it good enough or clean enough, and I know sometimes we can't, but for the kids that do watch it, even if there's like 3, man, those 3 are important to me, and that's the reason why, dude.
You're not wrong, man. The only reason I say that is for the mention that it was for adults earlier, and I know I can let go sometimes, and I won't. I'll hold it in.
I could tell that you're almost at that precipice. You're at the precipice of not being able to hold it in. I could tell already.
Yeah, he's on that razor edge.
I've been beyond that. I've been beyond that precipice for like the past, I don't know, but I have a girlfriend and my life is going well. So if you want me to let loose, just say Taco let loose. Besides that, I will be here and I love everybody here. Jason, you're a beast, and Ray Rod, you're a god. Who else is here? I can't look at my phone. It makes me feel bad.
I'm just sitting here in the background.
Call me a beast.
Client observer.
I called you a beast. I called you a beast.
I have a strange feeling that I'm gonna lose control of this very quick.
No, I'm trying, man. I'm being good. I'm being good.
Hey, I also care about how if you might say something that you don't want the public to know. So look, I love you, Tim.
No,
but if I have to remove you, please don't hate me for it.
That's fine. I'll never hate you. I have a reputation of being kicked off of Cobra TV for good reasons. So no worries.
Hey, Cobra, is this still choppy?
Yes, it is, because it's over Skype. Skype's horrible.
I did kind of just get a URL though. I'm testing it for the first time live streaming.
I like URLs.
I'm actually I got one of your gameplay up on the channel right now. Your 59-minute one.
Oh, never mind.
Hello.
Hey, Brian. Brian, how you doing, buddy?
Oh man, doing good. I actually had a question for Ray Rod. This I don't know if it would be due to local or your PS4 hard drive or whatever, how the systems work.
Yeah, sorry about that. My Skype crashed.
Oh, okay. The one thing I wanted to ask is, let's say I want to give a hypothetical question. Let's say you're in the forest, like your mod, and then you all of a sudden, you know how like some of those planets you'll end up having a bunch of animals just spawn at one time, which lags down your computer, and then the next thing you know, now we have multiplayer and we have 16 players all at one time. I mean, do you see the issue that could possibly turn up at one time?
Real quick, before you answer that, real quick, I want to thank Andy so much in the chat for the donation. Everybody, hashtag Andy. He's a Cobra. You're all a Crobos, but Andy's a Cobra too. So hashtag Andy. Thank you so much, buddy. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to catch on real quick, trying to process what you said. So, are you referring to like performance?
Yeah, like in other words, would that be a RAM issue, or would it be like locally spawned off the hard drive off the PS4, or would it be a server deal? Like, how would they enter? Yeah,
like would they be able to also see the other creatures?
Right. It's like I've noticed like I wouldn't have that many trees in the area, and then all of a sudden I would have. Just, you know, that one planet that would have spawned like 20 animals at one time, and you just all of a sudden be like your frame would just drop.
Dude, 18 quintillion planets.
Well,
you're going to eventually find it.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
I mean, like, as far as the planetary generation goes, I mean, as long as you don't have mods installed, of course. I mean, because I believe that mods would make things client-sided. If someone's not running mods, they'd probably see a different planet, different generation, and stuff like that. But I actually have information saved from the No Man's Sky wiki prior to it being edited out post-launch. And it actually describes some multiplayer mechanics and also, like, planetary seeds. It actually talked about sharing your coordinates with people. This was written pre-release, and that people would see the exact same thing. So as far as like flora and the planet itself goes, people should see the exact same thing, given that they don't have any planetary generation alterations. But when it comes to ecology, I actually think that would be the same thing too, because each planet somehow in the universe utilizes a specific ecology table. As long as someone isn't using a modified ecology table, I don't know how they would go about doing it if they change things up. I mean, I hope it's not client-sided, because I think it would be really immersive if everything was, you know, synchronized.
Yeah. Hey, Ray Rod, are you working for No Man, or are you working for Hello Games, and you are secretly the next update for PlayStation 4 and consoles?
Don't answer that, Ray. You don't have to do that.
No, don't do it. Don't do it. Well, yeah,
you don't have to answer that, Ray. You don't have to answer that.
He don't have to answer.
Next question, please.
No, I've been wanting to ask Ray Rod. Are the stars the seeds themselves, or are the planets seeds?
That I don't know. One thing I do know is when I was altering the terrain generation, it did change like all of the positions of the stars and everything in the galactic map. We're still looking for modders are still looking for what handles the universal seed. Like that right now is a mystery. But I found out that editing the voxel generation actually seems to change the seed in the universe. Like, because like I rewrote the voxel generation file to back like about 26 times now, like over 900,000 lines. It's time consuming prior to porting it to Python, so that I can just generate it instead of going through all of that. But anyway,
so you're writing in Python?
Yeah, I started learning Python. I needed to learn that so I could generate 2,400,000,000 procedural palette variants for the E3 atmospherics and other kinds of things that I'm replicating.
Did you learn a whole lot more Python than I did? I just started making like Civ 4 mods way back in the day under Python.
I tried to run Python, but then I got bit and realized that we weren't talking about a snake.
Yeah. But yeah, in short, I don't know if the seeds are the solar system, the stars, or the planets. But editing the terrain changes the planet and the stars from what I was testing.
Well, then that would make it seem like the planets themselves are the seeds.
Maybe so. Like, I know in the old files, Hello Games had solar system seeds, but it's really, yeah, I'm not sure yet.
Hey, Ray.
Yeah.
I love you.
Oh no.
Love you too, Cobra.
Don't worry, Cobra. Don't worry. I'm not to that point yet. I'm holding it in. I'm holding it in. Trust me.
Okay, buddy.
You think
okay.
I'm bad now?
Hey, Taco, have you been drinking?
I tested something out for the first time.
Look at my name. That's all you got to see.
Yeah, I tested something out for the first time. I put a live stream link in the chat. Just a heads up.
Okay.
Who's that speaking?
Okay, guys. Real quick, I want to bring up a topic that I definitely want to talk about before we get off streaming, and I just want to kind of get everybody's opinion. And it's about WARE. It's about Waking Titan, and it's about, you know, are we? Obviously, this is not going to be a silent release from 505 Games and Xbox. It's going to be a big deal. So with that in mind, Waking Titan does not seem like it's such a impactful deal this time around. It seems like it's very subtle. It's very quiet.
Yeah, subdued.
But at the same time, it seems stronger in the fashion of WARE. Just seems like it's the impact of what WARE is trying to have seems like it's stronger than the overall first Waking Titan, but the events don't seem like they're as big. And my question is, with 505 Games and this relaunch on Xbox, how do you guys feel that maybe Waking Titan, we can't see a trailer of what's next because of Waking Titan. Do you feel like I feel that maybe Waking Titan is going to get in the way of good advertising to sell this game to buyer beware Xbox people?
No,
not at all. I think it's quite the opposite. I think it's going to intrigue people.
I think a trailer is coming.
If people are aware of it outside of the community, yeah, of course.
I think the community will learn about it afterwards.
They didn't learn about, they didn't learn about Atlas Rises. They still say it's no good. So,
I feel that's true.
They could say a lot of things.
Atlas Rises. They still say
that's. Yeah, but you know what? That's the thing, man. Like, people are hating on No Man's Sky pre-release. Sometimes people are just going to be, they're just going to be that way regardless. But what I respect about Hello Games is, like, they could have turned in amidst all of the hate. But the thing is, they love their game, and that's enough for them. Just regardless of what people say, they're just going to keep working on it. I mean, of course, they want the game to go well. I mean, who doesn't? But, what keeps them here is passion, motivation, and inspiration. They love their project, and it goes beyond like the opinions of others.
Yeah, I mean, they believe in No Man's Sky.
I believe the negative opinion from the start is exactly what they're riding on right now. I feel like that they've got the negative opinions. They know that every community out there is going to throw out negative opinions that doesn't know about the game. And when the game comes out, people are going to say, I'm going to curse one time. They're going to say, "Holy shit!" What are we looking at? And people aren't going to believe what they're seeing. They're not going to believe that this is the No Man's Sky that people talked about. We are looking at a precipice of change, and we don't understand how deep this change is.
Well, I agree with that. 100%.
Even if there's a marketing campaign on top of the ARG, I think that No Man's Sky will be sort of marketed in itself. By it goes viral. Anything that comes out of this game goes viral. So
all they have to do is show a trailer at E3, and the internet will do the rest.
Exactly.
Do you think? Okay, I know
into the trailer.
I know we're going to see a trailer at E3. That's almost common sense. I don't think Microsoft's going to pass that opportunity. So I think they're going to feature at least a trailer. My question is, are we going to get a chance to see what's in next in that trailer, or do you think they're going to redo a current trailer? I mean, of the current version of what's available right now. I mean, I don't think that would be in the best interest for a trailer to sell games to Xbox. I think what they should do is literally have what's going to be in next, because that's going to be the version everyone's going to be buying.
I think next is going to be out on PS4 before it's ever on Xbox.
That I think too, but yeah, I'm sure they'll have like a Xbox reveal trailer revealing next, and that will probably get new players in as well as Xbox players. So
I believe they're going to show a mix. It's going to be a trailer that mixes the old trailers that everyone was used to and everyone expected, and the next. They'll show a bitter piece of the old trailer, and then they'll
what
show
if it just completely blows our mind? Like, what if it
it's
just
gonna
looks
blow
like
our mind,
Star
man.
There isn't a trailer at all.
Trust me, it's going to blow our mind.
That is an amazing trade station that you're on there, Ray. Can you turn around and let me look at that? Oh, it's gone.
Oh, sorry, I already switched over.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That was awesome, dude. That was massive. Hey, Ray, do you think you could actually do those big giant tower trade stations that we've seen in the montage trailer?
The procedural.
It depends which building you're looking at, because there's some E3 buildings I'm still looking for.
It was the one that looks like a gigantic typewriter, or not typewriter, sewing machine. Sewing machine.
Yeah, I remember that one. I do.
I may need to see what it looks like to tell you.
Cobra,
I might have a picture. Hold on.
Sound cap, like the sound cap for the X-Files theme song, because every now and then we throw something out there that, whether it be me or other people, and usually it's other people. And for me, well, I'm not going to say, but the X-Files theme song seems to go pretty good and well with our Subcast. Yours. That's the thing that I'm not allowed to speak of.
Man, I can't wait.
I'm gonna cough in my jaw.
I don't have it at the moment. But it's in. If you type in No Man's Sky montage trailer, it's in there.
By the way, Cobra, my wife told me to tell you hi.
Oh, tell her I said hi. Tell her I said hi back.
I like to throw something out here for Cobra TV. I'm not going to get into details of my life, but I will say that Cobra's done things for me, and the community has done things for me that nobody within the community even realizes. But I'm in a better place in my life strictly because of this game.
Wow, so am I, Taco. So am I.
That's awesome.
And I want everybody to know that you guys have done things for me that you can never understand, and I love everybody here.
I think I can understand, Taco. I think I could.
Man. We have such an amazing community now. It's crazy.
You won't find it anywhere else. I'll tell you that much.
No,
sure, that's for
you won't
sure.
find a community like this anywhere else.
In all of my years of gaming, I've never seen anything
sure,
like this before.
Hello Games know of this as well.
We are the.
Does it ever sometimes blow your guys' mind that this is happening to us? Like we're getting, like some games, people dream, of like getting free updates and like crazy ARGs and stuff, but this is happening to us.
I mean,
it's because
we're
of us,
literally
man.
in the story of the game we love.
He's doing it because of the community, and his dream as well. But if there wasn't a community behind it to support it like we do, he would never make these updates.
Right.
Yeah, this game would have never went past the very first iteration.
It's 2 years, it's going on 2 years.
I think he even said it. I think he even said if the game really actually failed, he'd just take the money and run.
No, he didn't say he'd take the money and run. He would just say he was just going to give up.
Oh yeah.
I'm worried about that. Yeah.
Actually, the interview a couple days before the launch, he actually said that again. He said, here's our update plans, base building, roamers, freighters. So all that information that we didn't know for the updates for Pathfinder and Foundation, he already tattletaled that he was going to add them in a couple days before launch. It was so cool that we all missed that. We missed that interview. It was so crazy. But during that, he literally says, yeah, if nobody cares, if it completely bombs, we're just, we're done.
I'm a GameStop employee that is going to tell people, reserve No Man's Sky because
GameStops. How many GameStops was it?
Show.
Man, wouldn't it be amazing to see Sean Murray in E3 stage this June?
I don't think that's going to happen.
God, I want him.
Nah, it's not going to happen. But I wish. Gosh, I miss seeing this guy talk. I really do.
He just reveals the next, and then after that, he just said it's on the PSN store. It's updating right now.
It's coming soon, guys.
I believe wholly that it will update before the release of Xbox, because that gives Hello Games an opportunity to look at the update. And I mean, we don't know all the coding issues, so they're going to look at the update and see what is wrong, what is right. And I truly believe that it's going to come before the release of the Xbox.
I do too, Taco.
I definitely think so.
I agree with you.
Good possibility.
Because the way they word it, Xbox Day One comes with everything, with the next. So it just makes sense to think that just to assume that it's going to come to PS4 first, maybe like 2 weeks early, maybe a month early. Who knows? Maybe we're getting it next Tuesday. Who knows?
Well, it's going to come on a new console. Everybody knows it. Guys, the Xbox One next. It's a new console.
Example, I bought Skyrim on launch, and then I bought all the expansions as soon as they came. But I had to buy them. Hello Games has given me every single expansion for free.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the difference between them and like AAA publishers.
You're here.
Yeah, AAA publishers do the same thing. They release unfinished games for $60 and then they charge you for the rest of it.
Destiny.
Just keep charging.
Battlefront is.
Hey, we got to endure a purple umbrella. And for those of you in the Xbox community who don't know who the purple umbrella is, you missed out on something lovely.
Tim,
go
Tim,
look
I
up
think
purple umbrella.
I think you got to be careful, buddy. You actually called us a humanity.
Starting to sweat in here.
My toilet. I'm looking at my toilet, and my toilet is talking to me. So we're not getting involved with that. Just go back to No Man's Sky.
Okay.
So this whole podcast, I've been on the edge of my seat, just at a loss for words, because I'm so hyped for this thing, man. Like, this is gonna be so big. I'm losing my mind, Cobra. I'm watching this gameplay here. If it's even half as good as Ray Rod's mod, we're gonna be in good shape. Like, I'm freaking out.
And there's no way that they haven't seen this mod and thinking, guys, all right, let's go ahead and implement some of this stuff. I'm shocked that they haven't actually reached out to Ray Rod. If they reach out to me, some deadbeat YouTuber, and talk to me, I'm surprised that they haven't reached out to Ray Rod. Have they?
They know the truth. Hello Games knows the truth. I'm just going to shut up because I'm treading dangerous territory.
I read a comment in the chat that someone's like, "There's a petition going around on Facebook to get Ray Rod employed by Hello Games."
Yes.
Yeah, I've seen that. I actually seen that. It was a couple weeks ago. I seen that. Yeah.
That's
Ray, what would happen if they took everything from your overhaul but didn't give you any credit? How would you feel about that?
I wouldn't mind. It's their game.
Well, what if Sean Murray just out of the blue, just like, hey, Ray Rod, we're going to give you a contract and you're going to do this and you're not going to tell nobody about it. And then Ray Rod's like, are you going to give me $10,000?
And then Cobra puts on his tinfoil hat.
But, I mean, like that's the thing, though. Like, there are actually some things that I was working on Pathfinder, like higher res terrain textures, high res flora textures, some space fog and dust, and what is it? Even ship missiles and stuff like that we saw in Atlas Rises, and I think that's really exciting. I mean, if they ever did that, I'd be happy. I wouldn't mind.
Ray Rob, what you the one that came up with like the black space on PC?
No. That was actually done in 2016 by someone named Emmett Brown, and then also there's been latter revisions of different alterations of that mod. One by LO2K, he's one of my friends, and there's also Darker Space. I actually made my own kind of thing where I allowed it to be possible where there can be black space, darker than normal space, regular space, and other kinds of space flowing at the same time in game.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right, guys. So here's last topic of the night that I want to kind of talk about. Now, if we notice like some of the updates, there's always been like things in the game that just didn't make sense of why they were there. And then when we got the new update, boom, they made better sense. Right. So when I kind of think about what's in next, I kind of have like a grounded common sense train of thought, like multiplayer is definitely going to be something. But then I think about some of the things that are in the game that just don't make any sense. And one of those, I'm going to mention 2 or 3, and then I want to see what you guys have on the plate for things that don't make sense in the game. But 3 of them is the freighters, crash freighters. What are they going to do with those? Was that a test to kind of generate have underground rooms, maybe dungeons? Maybe you can go down inside a crash freighter and explore on the inside. Maybe there's going to be bigger things to explore underneath the ground. Maybe that's a little dungeon testing. Yeah. Or then you got to think about the anomaly. There's that room with the simulation of the Korvax or whatever. That room where you walk up and you interact with it, it does nothing. So that's there, that does nothing. And then Big Bowl. Okay, so there's 3 things that are in the game right now that are on the forefront of my mind that they could possibly have something to do with next. What is something that you guys have come along and found that doesn't make sense in No Man's Sky, or if you have something you want to say about the 3 things that I brought up?
Well, I don't know about the 3 things you brought up, but the lasher plants need to go.
Yeah, they do.
Or like add really big ones.
Yeah,
I totally agree.
What was self-aware lashers? Like they know where you are when you are there, and they would just slash.
They seem like they do now, Taco.
I think the crash freighters.
I
think the crash freighters. What if just like the old trailers where they're in the planet atmosphere, they're like moving. What if you could actually destroy it? Like what if there's a war?
Or not even just destroy it, but like use your land terrain gun to dig it up.
I mean, you could do that right now, right? Can't you?
Train.
You guys see my lasher plant that I drew on the screen?
Oh, that's cool.
I drew my most hated feature in the game.
Kill it with fire.
So you want to be hated? You ain't seen hatred yet.
I hate them.
Yes,
them and crab monsters are like
so much more.
I fear the most.
What if the next lasher plant, lashes you, and then you turn around, and you just see a big ass worm coming at you through the ground?
I would love that. I
would be life.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite book is Dune, and they have giant sandworms in Dune, and I just love that stuff.
I really feel like next is going to be everything, man. Everything is coming. Like, whatever we hope for or whatever we're thinking, I think it's all going to be there.
I think we should temper our expectations.
But how can we if
everything is not going to be there?
It's hard to keep it low with the way they're... with the WARE.
This hype train is going, guys. Whether you like it or not, the hype train is rolling. I'm on the edge.
WARE is just making
my mind, guys. Losing it.
Maybe, but I think history has taught us to temper our expectations.
Yeah, but even Sean said it's gonna blow people's minds. Why would he say that?
Well, it's
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
And he knows not to hype himself up.
I know.
Did he actually say that?
He said that. Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna choose my actions before my words or something, because he knows what happened. It was like the biggest, people with all the negativity stuff. So why would he say this is gonna be the biggest surprise? Like people are gonna have their minds blown. Like
I think he said it's gonna be the biggest update we've had so far. I don't think he actually said right?
No,
I was getting ready to say that.
A lot of people are going to be surprised. He did say that.
Yes,
a lot of people.
He said we have surprises.
Okay.
I can't wait to show you.
Yeah.
That's already quite.
Cobra mentioned earlier that.
And then all of a sudden he teases the next with the WARE logo. Come on, man. Why would you do that? Why would you do the WARE logo?
Yeah, like excited to show you, and like it's gonna blow your mind, or two different things. Like
the WARE logo, the WARE.
It's all
WARE
just a
website,
dream.
The two biggest thing in the WARE website is VR and multiplayer. Those are the two biggest things. Basically, that's what it translates to. So
you got a bunch of Chinese.
I'm not saying it's not going to be great. I'm saying we should maybe just temper expectations a little bit.
It's
carpets
hard.
and curtains, guys.
With that
Carpets and curtains.
It's totally
I agree
hard.
with that statement.
It's totally
I had
hard.
people
but honestly, like Cobra said, I think it's going to be a complete overhaul, like a complete new engine. So,
totally new engine.
It'd be a big download for all of us, though.
I really do hope you're right.
So what are some of the things in the game?
It's everything.
What are some of the things in the game since Atlas Rises that you guys have seen? It just doesn't make any sense. Like that room in the Anomaly where you can go in and interact with it, and it says it's the Korvax simulation or something like that.
Well, here's something that I noticed. The main traveler you come in contact with, his name is Artemis, correct?
That's a story, yeah.
All right. Artemis was a hunter in Greek mythology, but yet he's helpless to you. Why is that?
I think they're using Greek mythology for names and somewhat tiny symbolism, but I don't think a whole lot of the Greek mythology plays a lot into.
Has anybody?
You may be right, Cobra.
Star.
It was just a question that I had.
I'm not sure.
Jason, have you seen the flashing star? Just random in space. It's just, it's really hard to pinpoint the exact location, but have you just looked up into the sky and saw a random flashing star?
No, I haven't, Taco.
Okay. I'm sorry. I keep that thought real quick, Tim.
Go ahead.
Silver. Gold and Silver says WARE is not VR. It's a world generator. VR headset has screens. WARE is not a VR headset. Okay. Well, what Gold and Silver kind of says makes sense. As you guys know, Sam Swain is working there, and he has an engine that generates procedural cities and buildings and dungeons and all kinds of other things like that. And I posed a question a couple weeks ago. What if, and he calls that engine Appearance. Okay, now he works at Hello Games, and he's also looking for a developer to use his engine Appearance. Okay, Hello Games also created Hello Labs to help independent developers who are making experimental procedural games. Sam Swain said on his website that, hey, I've landed a job as a full-time job that is going to allow me to be able to work on Appearance and my full-time job at the same time. So I really believe Sam Swain's project is being funded by Hello Labs, I'm sorry. And he's also employed there as a developer. So I think that Hello Games is actually helping his engine Appearance get out there and to be used by developers, which is what Sam Swain wants. He also wants to make a game with it too. And I think the people that would benefit from using his engine, which is what Sam Swain wants, is Hello Games. So what if WARE, is, like Gold and Silver said, a world generator? What if it's an improvement on the world generation that Hello Games has, and what we're going to see on the landscapes and everything, like better structures?
How would you classify an improvement?
Well, right now we've got these little trailers that don't make sense. You know, like these little settlements or trailers that are out there, like little mobile home looking things. You know, just don't make any sense out there. Just doesn't make any sense. And his engine would actually generate something that would make more sense.
You're talking about the isolated observatories, things like that, right?
Hold on. So, okay, listen. WARE, what if he changed the name from Appearance to WARE, and the dev kit is actually his engine?
That's interesting.
Wow. That's a good theory. That's a very, very good theory.
That's very interesting. Yeah.
Everybody, I hate to throw out this interruption, but it's probably for the best. I gotta go because I don't know where I'm at.
All right, buddy. Hey, listen. Are you around people? Is somebody
No, I'm around my cat and I'm around Velveeta, and Velveeta is good.
Dude, what's your cat's name?
Ocelot. Ocelot's a beast, man.
Oh, I love it.
That's cool.
Metal Gear series.
No, I love it. Metal Gear is actually who he is named after. Damska Ocelot Kitty Napier.
Yes.
But I don't mean to interrupt everybody, and I know I'm taking up some time, but I'm gonna get off here because I know I'm in a place that I shouldn't be, and if I hang around long enough, then I'm gonna make Cobra kick me off, and I would just rather.
Hey Tim. All right,
just
go ahead,
man. I love you, brother.
Just okay, buddy. Look, it's
Hey,
been a pleasure having. It's
Mr.
been a pleasure
Rod,
having.
Jason, and who the hell else is here?
Brian.
Ray Rod.
Brian.
Ray Rod.
I love you, brother. And I don't know what you said, but you made a noise, and that's all I needed to hear.
Okay, buddy, you be safe, man, and
Take it
I
easy,
hope
dude.
you're not alone.
Hey, Cobra, we have a
Yeah.
saying up here in the mountains called buzzing like a chainsaw.
That's what she said on the weekends, but I'm not getting involved with that because Velveeta, No Man's Sky, and a pair of shoes and a cat that's going to meow at me until he has very nice relations with my shoes. So I love you guys all, and I'm going to go now.
Okay, buddy. All right, take care, man.
Take
Have
it
a good
easy,
one.
Taco.
Take it easy, Taco.
All right, bye, bro. All right.
He's a character, ain't he?
Yes, he is. I love Tim. So yeah, okay. So where could be a parents?
Could be.
Or yeah, I don't know.
But even the way, but why would they write it where like that? You know, it's like the W and the V and the slash and the ARE, and you know, it's just so it's just
maybe
so many clues.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe he's. I don't know.
Or it's there, or it's just there to throw us off. You know, like they're working on.
That's what I was thinking.
You know,
exactly what I was thinking.
Wouldn't that piss people off? Like people that are expecting VR and all that.
Unless there's something much bigger than VR.
It looks similar.
I know it's much bigger than VR.
I just want to. Okay, I want to like tattoo this in history right here. Okay, so when this game releases on Xbox and all this talk of VR and it's and if people are upset, Hello Games never said it was going to be VR. All right, let's just. Yeah. I guarantee you that's going to be something we're going to have to constantly say. All right, nobody ever said it was going to be VR. That was the community that was saying that it was going to be VR. Although it does look like it on VR or WARE. It looks like it says VARE VR. So, God, you know, I wish they wouldn't do this. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say anymore.
That's what I'm not mad about it. I'm just saying, like, why would they do stuff like that again to get a negative community to, like, you know, I mean, just to get a community talking negative about it again. You know, I don't want them to go through that again. I have no problem with it if they don't come out with VR. Like, yeah, that would be super amazing. I know the major thing is going to be multiplayer and the whole, you know, complete rehaul. But I just don't want the negative people to talk negative again about it. You know what I mean?
Well, haters gonna hate. That you can't stop that.
I think once the update comes out and this headset's probably gonna, I think it might tie in with the storyline, and then it will kind of make more sense. And then people will be like, "Oh, it wasn't VR, but this is why it was happening. It's part of the game lore and all this."
I would love to see like cities, like how you guys seen the Beyond Good and Evil 2, right?
Oh yeah, covering it.
Like, I saw No Man's Sky in that for some reason. Did you guys like a little bit when he just went away from the city for a little bit? Like the Planet Generation kind of reminded me of No Man's Sky. So
I mean, how cool would it be if that is the case? Like the players actually created the universe of No Man's Sky by letting this AI loose, and then they got stuck in it as travelers via this WARE company.
Exactly. That's what's happening. That's what this is. It's not VR. This is just a way to tell the lore of how we got inside this darn thing. You know.
With that said, though, like maybe later down the road, ambient mode. I'm still calling it.
I mentioned that too. I was shot down when I said, "What if ambient mode was VR?" I said that the first subcast we had after we realized that there was the ambient mode. And everyone was like, no. So I quit talking about it. I quit.
Here's something my wife pointed out to me. And I didn't even notice until she did. There are no female NPCs.
I think there are.
Huh. No woman's Sky.
Well, is there any even male? Because they're all aliens, right?
But they talk about female. They talk about females. You know,
they talk about them.
Do we have to put labels straight away?
Okay, guys, do you guys remember like vanilla version 1, whatever? But when we went to those to get the Atlas stones, do you remember those time when we had to gather the Atlas stones?
Right.
But I think it was like the 3rd or the 4th stone, and there was those 3 figures standing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
What was up with that? So what is up with that? That was like that was the Gek, Corvex, and the Vikings, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But was there like 2 more? Was there like, or was it just only 3? Or am I confused with Deathstrap?
There were 3 at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just 3.
Yeah.
So as far as female characters in No Man's Sky, I think the Gek are asexual, like an amphibian, right? The Corvax are robotic. So I don't think that they're either or, right?
That would make sense.
Then you got the Viking. The Viking actually mentioned marriage to you at one point in time. So they have talk about females. But then the most obvious one, the most obvious female in No Man's Sky is the Atlas, Emily.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good point.
Yeah. Technically is.
That's a good point, Cobra. Yeah.
Guys, we're probably going to shut it down in about 10 minutes. So if there's anything that we got left on the table you want to bring up, let's go ahead and do that now.
Hey, look, I just want to say, hey, Ray Rod, you're a god amongst insects, man. I love your work.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
Ray
the
Rod,
kind
you're
words.
amazing, bro. I wish you could do this on the PS4.
Oh yeah,
Thanks.
For real.
Unbelievable work.
Sure.
But yeah, man.
I'm going to have to go ahead and get off here. I got to work in the morning.
Okay, Jason. Pleasure having you on, dude.
Take it easy, Jason.
Pleasure as always, Cobra.
Yes.
All right. Bye, bro. Take care. Stay safe.
See you later.
All right. Somebody, Golden Silver says, could be gay marriage. Viking are very progressive. That is true. I mean, what about the Orville? You got that Klingon race, and they do this. They do that. So maybe
Klingon.
J-Spot just says submarines. That's all he wants. Just submarines.
Man,
we got Krieger in the chat says, "Hey Cobra, returning player from launch here. Would you recommend finishing the Artemis storyline before the update hits?" I would, so that way you can get an understanding of the storyline. Yeah, because it's really in depth. But if you don't want to end up in another galaxy, I would make sure you keep a previous save or something.
Hey, Cobra. Do you think it would be? Would you think it would be smart? I don't have all the glyphs. Do you think it would be smart to try to get all of them before the update, or?
I would definitely.
Okay. I'm wondering if this next, if it just changes. I mean, I wouldn't be upset if they just completely just wiped everything clean and started anew. But
I mean, I don't think they would have worked on all of this if it was just to wipe it off completely.
Yeah,
no,
I think
no, they're not going to do that.
Features are going to be
present.
present.
I wouldn't figure they would. I just,
the only thing that you're going to see drastically erased and changed a little bit is just the terrain, because where you see your base, if you're on a beautiful planet, it might be an exotic. I mean, it might be a toxic one after the update, or it might even be better, than was before. But as far as the things you have in the inventory, the story, the things like that, it's all going to be the same. It should be.
I got you.
Hopefully they change up exploration in the game. Like, I really am kind of indifferent on multiplayer, but if there is multiplayer, I feel like people are going to get awful bored of it if everything is still the same, No,
it's not going to be still the same. If they're going to, okay, so they added the wisps and reused the asset from the planet markers and things like that for our avatars, I think, to kind of stress test servers to see if it would work, because I think that's the whole reason why we got that. And then they wrote some really cool lore to go along with it, so that way it wasn't just a complete test, a complete waste, And so when they add the avatars and add multiplayer, and I'm almost positive that they're going to give us things to do with that instead of just, now we can see each other. That's what we've been working on for a year. Okay, all right. No, I think there's going to be functionality with that, things to do with each other, like little modes, or maybe even like
trading.
Yeah, trading. That, you know what? That's another thing he mentioned in that update roadmap. He said trading and things like that. So that could be coming.
So will we actually affect the economy by trading with each other?
That would be amazing.
Yes.
But then it would. I'm worrying that it becomes too much like EVE Online or Star Citizen.
Man, what I really want is, honestly, in the new engine, this is just highly speculation, but just distance, I feel like everything is so close to each other, like the planets are very close to each other.
There needs to be a more grand scale.
There needs to be a little bit more spaced out, and an actual sun, like an actual sun, you could actually go past. I'm not trying to say so much like Elite, but just the open space, and just like the distance from the planets, just further away. Like you can't even see the other planet, but you could go to it. It'll be a marker or something, and you just have to just travel.
I mean, they do want to retain like the Crescent world feel of vintage sci-fi as well. So
exactly. So
you need some balancing.
Because remember, it used to be like that. Because like one of the old interviews Sean was saying before, like the planet rotation and all that, he was saying, he wanted to be further away, but stuff like that. So. I don't know.
I wish they would implement the map like Elite Dangerous, like the galaxy map, like when you pull out and let's say everybody's online and they see, like,
I'm so confused of the map. Like, I don't know what's north and what's west. I mean, you could see where the center is with the core, but I don't know what is up, what is down, what is left, what is right. Like, I don't know where the hell I'm going. Like, seriously.
The Elite Dangerous map has there's more character, there's more personification to it. Like you can situate yourself in the space, and I do agree that that's lacking in No Man's Sky. I would love it that you really know where you are in the galaxy.
So I hope I hope the next update is a lot of exploration, aspects of it, and